Arsenal make contact with £45 million monster who Ian Wright already knows is a very good signing. And a journalist reveals that he is completely convinced Real Madrid will sign an Arsenal player for £27 million. Stay with me until the end of the video to understand everything happening behind the scenes at the Emirates Stadium. Love Arsenal as much as we do? Then don't wait another second. Subscribe to our channel now and be the first to know everything about the Premier League's greatest team. Hit that subscribe button and join our community of true Gunners fans. Now, let's jump into today's top news. Arsenal are targeting several midfielders this summer as Mikel Arteta aims to add the final piece of the puzzle to his squad. In Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard, Arteta has two of the best midfielders in the world at his disposal, but the key is now adding a third option who can complement them both. A number of players have been linked, with Martin Zubimendi of Real Sociedad greatly admired by Arteta, whilst Brazilian pair Bruno Guimaraes and Douglas Luiz are both on the radar. There have also been links with Everton star Amadou Onana, and with the Toffees needing to sell to comply with financial fair play rules, the Belgian could be available this summer. Arsenal make contact over Amadou Onana availability. Fabrizio Romano has now told Give Me Sport that Arsenal have made a tentative inquiry for Onana, with a midfielder of some interest to Arteta. It is not something really concrete at this point. They had some contact, yes, in terms of being informed on the player's situation, but it's not the proper negotiation to the club yet, Romano stated. I think Arsenal has several names in that list for the midfield. Onana is appreciated by many clubs in England. Onana has been impressive since he joined Everton in 2022, and a reported £45 million price tag means he is certainly available with a lower price tag than some of Arsenal's other targets. Arsenal legend Ian Wright is a huge fan of the midfielder, and he predicted that top clubs would be interested in Onana as early as January 2023. Onana looks like a very good signing, Wright stated at the time. Somebody will probably cherry-pick him out of there with the way it's going because he looks like a very capable player. It remains to be seen if Arsenal's interest will develop beyond their tentative inquiry, and Onana, who has been described as a physical monster, may be viewed as a backup target if the likes of Zubimendi or João Neves are unattainable. Arsenal's interest in a midfielder would be contingent on Thomas Partey departing after another season of injury struggles, but it is arguable that Onana is not much of an upgrade on the veteran. Arteta may be keen on adding a midfielder who can play alongside Rice and Odegaard for the long term, and whilst Onana would add instant quality, he may not be the level-raiser Arsenal desire in the middle of the park. Arsenal could land bargain in Juventus star Federico Chiesa. Arsenal are in the market for a winger for several reasons, and Mikel Arteta now has the opportunity to add an established player to his squad. Chiesa, 26, was one of Europe's best attacking prospects when he was developing, initially at Fiorentina before a big-money move to Juventus in 2022 after a 2-year loan. The speedy winger, who has also played up front, on both flanks and even behind the striker, was a standout player at the European Championships in 2021, as Italy beat England in the final to win the tournament at Wembley. He was then struck down by a long-term anterior cruciate ligament injury which kept him out for some time, and the last year has been one in which he has tried to recover his best fitness and form. With 1 year remaining on his contract at Juventus, Italian outlet Tutto Juve have now reported that he could be allowed to leave for a fee of around £34 million, with Arsenal, Newcastle and Chelsea among the clubs interested. Chiesa scored 9 times and provided 3 assists in Serie A for Juventus this season, in a campaign where the Old Lady finished third, but manager Max Allegri was dismissed after yet another year of turgid football. Arsenal can repeat Leandro Trossard's success with Federico Chiesa. Arsenal appear to be targeting younger players in this transfer window, but at 26, Chiesa is still yet to hit his prime, and despite his previous injury struggles, still brings blistering pace on and off the ball, ranking in the top 3% of European forwards for progressive carries. In January 2023, Arsenal sprung a surprise when they signed 28-year-old Brighton attacker Leandro Trossard, but this proved to be a masterstroke. The Belgian brought a wealth of experience to the attack, and has played in a variety of positions with a strong goal output. Chiesa could arrive as a similar signing, with nearly 300 appearances and 66 goals in Italian football to his name, and as a versatile option to strengthen the squad in multiple positions. The Italy star would add the pace Arsenal currently lack at times, and playing in a more attacking system under Mikel Arteta could help him regain his full confidence and hit his previously world-class levels at the Emirates. Chiesa is a player who could cover superbly for Saka on the right wing, or play alongside him on the left, in the midfield or as a false nine if required, and given his contract situation, the potential fee mooted for him is a bargain given his stature. Journalist says he's utterly convinced Real Madrid will sign £27 million Arsenal player eventually. Arsenal have some truly world-class players in their squad. The likes of Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard are some of the best players on the planet, and, sadly, history has shown that Arsenal often don't get to keep these sorts of players for too long. Indeed, in the past it's never too long before one of Europe's elite come calling for Arsenal's top players, as we've seen with the likes of Cesc Fabregas and Thierry Henry leaving for Barcelona over the years. Speaking on Inside Arsenal, Charles Watts has been discussing the future of another of Arsenal's best players, William Saliba, and the journalist says that he's convinced that Saliba will ultimately end up being signed by Real Madrid. Saliba is just an absolute monster. I'm convinced that he will end up at Real Madrid at some point. He has Real Madrid written all over him. I just don't want that to be yet. I want 4 or 5 more years of Saliba at Arsenal, Watts said. Arsenal have been vulnerable to losing their best players to the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona for a long time now. However, it does feel as though the tables are slowly turning in that regard. The Gunners are slowly but surely re-establishing themselves as one of the world's top clubs, and while they still have some way to go, there's no reason why the North London club can't be Champions League contenders themselves in the coming years. The era of Arsenal's top players being cherry-picked seems to be over, and it wouldn't be a shock if the Gunners did manage to keep hold of Saliba for the majority of his peak years. Real Madrid would surely love a player like Saliba, but getting the Frenchman out of Arsenal won't be easy. Agent admits Arsenal are looking at his £21 million client who plays like Sergio Aguero. The Gunners understandably want to keep their transfer business a secret amid the chance of a rival hijack. You may remember Chelsea pinching Mykhailo Mudryk from Mikel Arteta back in January 2023. A new striker seems to be on the agenda for Arsenal, amid strong interest in RB Leipzig number 30 Benjamin Sesko, and it appears the North Londoners have another attacker on their radar as well. Arsenal are now looking at Besiktas number 90 Semih Kılıçsoy, according to his agent Murat Teber. As quoted by Turkish news outlet Sporks, he said, "I know that clubs such as Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Arsenal, PSG, Monaco, Bayer Leverkusen, Stuttgart are watching Semih. We received information about this, but it has not reached the offer stage." Clearly, the Gunners do not have a free run at securing the Turkey international signature, although it is very interesting to hear this come straight from the mouth of Teber. If Arsenal are successful in signing Kılıçsoy, Arteta will have another supreme talent on his hands to add to the likes of Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, William Saliba and Martin Odegaard. At the age of just 18, the striker scored 12 goals and provided 3 assists in 35 appearances for Besiktas last season, in a campaign where he played on the left, right and center of the attack. Sporks add that Besiktas will demand €25 million, £21 million, to sell Kılıçsoy. If Edu strikes an agreement with Besiktas, Arteta could have the new Aguero at the Emirates Stadium. Mehmet Eksi, academy director at Besiktas, recently told another Turkish news outlet in Hurriyet that some people in Turkey compare Kılıçsoy to the Argentine, although those within the club liken him to German legend Gerd Müller. He said, "As infrastructure teachers, we compare Semih to Gerd Müller. Some compared him to Aguero. He also sees Aguero as his idol. He plays in 3 areas: right winger, left winger and center forward. He also plays behind the striker very well." With 15 goal involvements in all competitions last season at the age of just 18, Kılıçsoy seems exactly like the type of versatile forward Arteta could mold into a superstar. Be sure to keep an eye on this situation, as Arsenal continue to track the Turkish teenager. Well folks, those were the main news for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and until the next video.